Children, good morning to all. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. So, I came back with the new session. Previously we are in the zone of diversity in living organisms. In that concept we are already discussed about the 5 kingdom classification. We completed 4 kingdoms that are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae. The 5th kingdom is Animalia. So all the general characteristics of the previous 4 kingdoms we discussed. So let us see today Animalia kingdom. 5th kingdom is Animalia according to the Robert Whittaker 5 kingdom classification. So before we are going into the session of Animalia to learn the concept, first let us see a new terminology, because in this session we used to find many different varieties of terminology or different kinds of terminology we used to find. So first we should know the meanings of each and every terminology, then only we can understand the concept. So let us see the different words which are present in this concept. Generally, the classification of Animalia was classified basing on the basis of presence or absence of notochord. Animals have been categorized as a non-chordates and the chordates. Chordates means vertebral column. The organisms which are consisting of a vertebral column, such organisms or such animals are called as chordates, or also we can call them as vertebrates. And the organisms which doesn't have the vertebral column, they are called as non-chordates. So the classification of animals. In case of Plantae, we discussed that basing on the flowering nature. So the plants which have flowers, they are called as phanerogams, and the plants which doesn't have the flowers, they are called as cryptogams. Like same manner, in animals, the classification was done basing on presence of vertebral column. So if the organisms having a vertebral column, they are called as chordates or the vertebrates, and the animals which doesn't have the vertebral column, they are called as non-chordates or invertebrates. So first let us see the kingdom of Animalia, how it is categorized basing on the cellular level. So if you see unicellular organism amoeba, according to the 2 kingdom classification that is proposed by the Carl Linnaeus, basing on that he divided animals as a vertebrates and invertebrates. He started invertebrates from the starting of protozoa. But we are seeing these protozoans in the Monerans kingdom. So the cellular level organisms are porifera and non-coelom. What is a coelom? Coelom is nothing but body cavity. We'll see in the terminology. So basing on non-coelom, the phylums are Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes. The Cnidarians and the Platyhelminthes. Cnidaria example, we can see that Hydra, and Platyhelminthes is a flatworm is an example. So these animals doesn't have the body cavity. The animals which doesn't have a body cavity, they are called as acoelomates. So non-coelom animals they are. Pseudocoelom means it is having a body cavity, but it is not a true body cavity. It is having a false body cavity. That's why in amoeba we used to say, what is the foot of amoeba? We call pseudopodia. What is the meaning of pseudopodia? Pseudo means false, podia means foot, false foot. In the same manner, pseudocoelom. Pseudo means false, coelom means body cavity. So animals which have a false body cavity, they are called as pseudocoelomates. Example, nematodes. What are nematodes? We can see the nematodes as the nematodes are nothing but, so the nematodes are the roundworms. So nematoda, roundworms is the best example for the nematoda. So then the fourth category is divided as coelomates. These coelomates again mesodermal cells and endodermal cells. Mesodermal cells, dermis, that is a skin. The skin is formed in 3 layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm. Outermost layer is called as ectoderm, middle layer is called as a mesoderm, and the innermost layer is called as endoderm. We'll see in each and every terminology in the concept, going on the concept. So mesodermal cells means the middle layer of the cell. The animals which are having annelids, arthropods, mollusca. Annelids example we can take earthworm. Arthropoda example we can take cockroaches, all the insects. Mollusca like snails. These comes under the molluscans. Molluscans soft body organisms which are covered by the shell. Arthropods means the body is jointed legs. Body is having a jointed legs. Arthro means jointed. Poda means legs, jointed legs. And also these arthropods body is divided head, abdomen and thorax into 3 parts. And the annelids are the segmented body. So these are the examples of the mesodermal cells. And coming to the endodermal cells, they are divided as non-chordates and chordates. The non-chordates echinodermata, which doesn't have the vertebral column. Echinodermata example is a starfish. And notochord, they are the chordates. They are again divided into 2 types, that are protochordata and vertebrata. Protochordata example Balaenogases. What is a protochordates? They are the we can say they are in between the organs of organisms of the vertebrates and the invertebrates. Invertebrates doesn't have any spinal cord or the vertebral column. Vertebrates have the spinal cord or the vertebral column. But what are the protochordates? Protochordates are the middle organisms which are not well defined vertebral column. They are having notochord, which is a string or the rod like a structure, which seems like a rod. I'll show the picture. So they are called as the protochords. And vertebrates means Balaenoglossus is example for the protochordates. And vertebrates. Coming to the vertebrates are which are having the spinal cord, well defined spinal cord protected in the vertebral column. So these all are comes. We are the vertebrates, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, aves and the mammals. All comes under the vertebrates. So this is the classification of animal kingdom. Now if you see the vertebrates, again the vertebrates were divided into many phylums. You can see here, Pisces means all the different types of the fishes. And amphibians. Amphibians means frogs. Frogs comes under. Amphi means 2. Animals which live both on land and in water are called as amphibians. So they live in both land and in water. Such animals are called as amphibians. Examples are the frogs or the salamanders are also comes under the amphibians. And the reptiles. Reptiles are nothing but snakes. All the snakes, lizards, garden lizards, these all are comes under the reptiles. Aves means all the birds. All the birds comes under the aves. Mammals means man, monkey, dog, cat, rat. Animals, mammal means animals which are having a mammary glands. So we can define it as animals which are able to give birth to the young ones and feed the babies with their milk. Such animals are called as mammals. So all the vertebrates are divided into 5 phylums that are Pisces, amphibians, reptilia, aves and the mammals. So here animals with vertebral column are called as invertebrates. The examples you can see here, there is a starfish and the example of echinodermata. Now you can see here as a vertebral column. Animals which are having the vertebral column that are called as vertebrates. Animals possessing vertebral column are referred as vertebrates. You can see here the vertebral column. The vertebral column protects the spinal cord. Inside the vertebral column we can find the spinal cord. It is protected by the vertebral column. Now let us move on to the coelom. It is a new terminology, children. As I said, that is a body cavity. Coelom or the body cavity. A fluid filled space between the body wall and alimentary canal is known as coelom. So it is a space filled with the fluid. What is the fluid? That is which protect all the organs. So the fluid which is filled, or we can call hemocoel means it is a blood cavity, we can call it fluid which is consisting of minerals and which is able to protect the organs. These all are comes under the coelomic animals. That means nothing but coelom is nothing but it is a body cavity. Acoelomates. What is meant by acoelomates? A means absent, coelom means body cavity. So here you can see the sponge, cycon and also paramecia. All these animals, they doesn't have any body cavity. If the body cavity is absent, such organisms are called as acoelomates. And what are the pseudocoelomates? What did I say? Pseudo means false, coelomate means body cavity. The organisms which have a false body cavity, such organisms are called as pseudocoelomates. Pseudocoelom are cavity not entirely lined by the peritoneum, a thin cellular membrane derived from the mesoderm. So they doesn't have any peritoneum. So such animals are called as pseudocoelomates. Here you can see, children, clearly the picture. It is a roundworm. You can see pseudocoelom roundworm example. That part is cut off there. No, the cutting off part is consisting of the enlarged part. You can see here. The blue lining is called as a body covering. It is formed from the ectoderm, and the orange color layer is called as a muzzle layer. So that is a form of a mesoderm, but it is not a true mesoderm. It is a form of a mesoderm, and the internal part is a digestive tract from the endoderm. And as we doesn't find as a mesoderm pseudocoelom, we used to find only the pseudocoelom. And now you can see eucoelomates. Examples: Annelida. Annelida is a earthworm. Arthropoda, all the insects like cockroaches. Mollusca, all the shelled animals. Schizocoelus, echinodermates. Echinodermata means starfish. Chordates means all the vertebrates. So Enterocoelus, all these animals having the eucoelomates. What is a eucoelomate, children? This is the eucoelomate. You can see here body cavity from the ectoderm, and the coelom. You can see the coelom, the cavity space. The empty space is nothing but is a cavity. That is a coelom. And you can find there are tissue layer lining the coelom and suspending the internal organs. So connecting the internal organs and catch up the internal organs. That you can see there, and digestive tract from the endoderm. So here we can see outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm. If the three layers is consist of, that are called as eucoelomates, true body cavity. Now you can see the three types: acoelomates, pseudocoelomates, and eucoelomates. Acoelomates example flatworm, you can find there, and pseudocoelom, they are the roundworms, and eucoelomates, they are all the chordates: arthropods, annelids, arthropods, echinodermates, chordates. These all are comes under the eucoelomates. So this is the difference between the now you came to know that what is a body cavity. Acoelomate, absence of body cavity. Eucoelomate means presence of true body cavity. Eu means true, so true body cavity. Pseudocoelomates means false body cavity. Next, animal symmetry. What is animal symmetry? If the organism able to cut into equal halves, see here, able to cut into the parts, that is called as a symmetry. So the arrangement of the body parts into geometrical design, so that is called as a animal symmetry. So what is a symmetrical animals? These are asymmetrical animals. Asymmetrical means these are cannot be cut into a equal manner. Organism cannot be cutted into a equal manner. They are called as asymmetrical animals. Now here you can see the symmetry is of four types. What are the four types of a symmetry? Spherical symmetry, radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry, biradial symmetry. Spherical symmetry, radial symmetry, biradial symmetry, and bilateral symmetry. Now you can see here each and every one. What is a spherical symmetry? So the organism which is in a spherical shape. Here you can see the organism which is in a spherical shape. So if it is cut into two equal halves, it is found in animal whose body is resembles as a sphere. If it is able to cut into two equal halves to the middle, that are called as a spherical symmetry. Radial symmetry means in this symmetry body is in the form of a flat cylindrical. What is a cylindrical? That is we can see gas cylinder is a cylinder shape, no? So that is in a cylindrical shape, able to cut into two equal halves. So this is a radial symmetry. You can see here, this is a hydra. So if we cut, the body is in a round shape, it can be cut into two equal halves. What is a biradial symmetry? Variant from the radial symmetry, has some part is paid rather than the radial. So radial only, but it is a, here you can see it is a circular body can be divided into halves. That is a radial body, you can find it. Now bilateral symmetry. This symmetry applies to animals that can be divided along the medium longitudinal planes into two mirror halves. Two mirror halves. What is a mirror half? So the mirror shows as the same as like a part. So that is called as a mirror halves. So the animal cuts into two equal halves, equally sharing the organs. Now you can see here. If the organism cut equally, it will be shared. See, Platyhelminthes, Asclepihelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Chordates. All this comes under the bilaterally symmetry. That means you can see at the middle, if you cut the organism in the middle, equal sharing of organisms. So if you take the jointed legs of this scorpion, see that side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are there. This side also 5 are there. Equally they will be divided. Okay. So this is what call as a bilaterally symmetry. That is another concept. And coming to the next terminology is diploblastic and triploblastic. If the body cavity is lined by two layers, as we said that the skin is covered by the three layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner endoderm. Here you can see that mesoglia is there, not mesoderm. Ectoderm and endoderm is there, but no mesoderm is there. Middle mesoderm is there. In the presence of mesoderm, we find a material like a mesoderm, that is a mesoglia. So if the body cavity, if the body is animal which cells are arranged in a two embryonic layers, and the external ectoderm and internal endoderm are called as a diploblastic animals. So you can take the example as a coelentrates like a hydra. Okay. Next terminology is triploblastic animals. What is a triploblastic? Here we can see the three layers: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. This is the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Three layers of the cells. The body is covered by the three layers of the cells, germinal layers. Such organisms are called as the triploblastic animals. So examples: Platyhelminthes to Chordates. Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Arthropoda, Annelida, Mollusca, Echinodermata. All the chordates comes under the triploblastic animals. So triploblastic means three layers. Next concept is cold-blooded and warm-blooded animals. Here you can see the many examples of cold-blooded. The tortoise, the snake, lizard, frog comes under the cold-blooded. Birds, man, monkey, crows, birds, all the birds comes under. Dogs, elephant, these all comes under the warm-blooded. Let us see what are the warm-blooded animals. First, let us see the cold-blooded. Cold-blooded animals can be defined as the animals which cannot regulate their internal body temperature within the change in the environment. Generally, these are like frogs, lizards. You can see here the pictures, no? Frog, lizard, tortoise. That means reptiles, up to reptiles. In chordates, up to reptiles, we can see that the presence of cold-blooded animals. So, what is meant by cold-blooded animals? The animals which can change their body temperature according to the environmental conditions. So if the environment condition is changed, the temperature is changed, according to the temperature, the body temperature, they will be controlled to survive in the particular environmental conditions. So such animals are called as the cold-blooded animals. You can see here the examples of the cold-blooded animals. Examples: fishes, reptiles and amphibians. Fish, reptiles, tortoise and the snake. These all are comes under the cold-blooded animals. So what they can do? Cold-blooded animals can be defined as the animals which cannot regulate their internal body temperature. They cannot regulate. So according to the environment, the body temperature will be changed. That animals are called as the cold-blooded animals. And coming to the warm-blooded animals. Warm-blooded animals attempt to keep their internal body temperature maintained and does not change. same along the changes in the external environment. In the cold-blooded animals, what did we see? They can change their body temperature according to the environmental conditions. But in case of warm-blooded animals, they maintain the constant body temperature. They maintain the constant body temperature. So here we can find the warm-blooded animals. And next, if you take example, if it is a colder outside, the body of the warm-blooded animals try to adapt according to the situation and create internal heat which provides warmth to the body and vice versa. So they provide the heat to the body according to the temperature. If it is a cold, no, what we used to do when it is a cold, we wear the sweaters, no, then it provide the temperature to the body and alternate the body temperature. So warm-blooded animals active in both environments, so can easily cope up anywhere. So as they can change their body temperature, wherever they go, they can adjust their cells into the particular environmental conditions. Basically warm-blooded animals, birds, mammals comes under the warm-blooded animals. Here you can see that warm-blooded are active in both environments, can easily cope up anywhere. So you can see the differences between the cold-blooded animals and the warm-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals, body temperature varies based on the environment, and warm-blooded animals, they maintain the constant body temperature. So fish and sea children, here you can see the body organs can be called as the topmost body part is called as dorsal view and the bottommost part is called as a ventral view. What is a dorsal and what is a ventral, you will be confused, no? So the front part is called as a anterior portion and the back part is called as a posterior portion. Now you can see when we see the diagonal side of the organism, the top view of the organism is called as a dorsal part and the lower part of the organism is called as a ventral part, dorsal and ventral. And here you can see in the front part is called as